Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Wired Gaming, back again with some more Grounded. And today we're just doing a very quick video on what was released on, I believe, Tuesday, and that is the public test server. Now, damn, it's awesome. There's so many awesome new little bits. Obviously, all of this is going to be what's coming in the 0.3.0 update, which should hopefully be some point next week. I will say before I carry on that the public test server at the moment is only available on Steam, so it's not available for consoles yet. They are working on getting it available for consoles, so hopefully, should be soon. You never know. But there's a lot of awesome stuff. There's so much more new gameplay parts, missions, loads of awesome bits. I can't wait to get into it properly and, jump straight in and have some fun. And also, the very good thing about the PTS is it uses your original save. Now, I've played a couple of games where it doesn't do that, so it's quite nice to have that. You can just jump straight in and carry on where you left off with all the new features, which is really cool. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to go through what's new, what's coming, and as you can see in the background, there's new bits going on there as well. So, the new features, the big ones, absolute big ones, which are awesome. The hedge has been revamped with new content. So that is the scabs, missions, and zip lines. There's all sorts of new cool there. So, new building, zip line, new building, spinning wheel, new buildings, signs. Haha. So much new stuff. Cannot wait to get proper into it. And the new world landmark, the Franken line. Halloween edition's jack-o'-lantern landmark, candy corn food item, and localization for French, German, Spanish, Italian, and new spiderwebs that stick to unsuspected players and critters. So with changes and tuning, they've put the UE4 version upgrade and combat. Oh man, the game is... When I first started playing it, I just thought, this is a kid's game, it's going to be so easy, it's going to be so fun, you just fanny around, do what you want. Damn, was I wrong. This game is so difficult. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's fun, but it's so difficult. With combat then, ant soldiers have a set of new attacks. Ant soldiers now deal more damage with their attacks. Tase now deal more damage with their attacks. Most armors now block more damage. All weapons have had their damage, stamina, cost, and durability adjusted to fit a stricter tier-based curve. The Bombardier Beetle burning hazards and stink bug gas hazards are now much deadlier. Damn, they were hard enough as it is. Those things are going to be an absolute nightmare to kill. The Bombardier Beetle attacks deal less initial damage. End result should be about the same combined with the hazard damage change. And Fresh Defense perk now blocks twice as much gas and burning damage. Reliable Friend perk now boosts revive speed, but by roughly double the amount, which is very cool. And interface. There's so many awesome little bits there. Processing buildings, such as the campfire, now show the progress of each item in the interface and allow items to be cancelled. The recycle building interface now shows how many structures will collapse if the target building is recycled. That's very cool. I've had a few issues where I've demolished something and then other bits have fell. But yeah, that's really cool. I like that. And contextual slurping text now lets you know what you're going to taste. Additional icon art. And the Interact UI will no longer briefly appear enabled when looking at a disabled interaction. Clearer labeling of game modes, type in save load UIs, and game no longer asks to overwrite a save if you are not able to currently save the game. So, with the world, has been, as I said earlier on, so many new changes, especially to the hedge region. But just in general, there's so many new awesome things, which is definitely going to keep the content fresh. I do like the way that they're putting out these updates very quick, which is really nice. And it keeps us all busy, keeps us entertained, But with the world updates, new perks to discover and unlock, new colour themes to discover and unlock. Stumps left behind no longer prevent foliage from respawning. Grass will not respawn if the stump is removed. Ants now have the desire to take back their stolen eggs, and eggs can now hatch even after being moved by the player, but not whilst in an inventory. Ant eggs no longer stack in the inventory. Lava wonder range is now much smaller during the day, and mushrooms in the world take much longer to grow back. Meats take much longer to spoil, and scabs that have been moved since prior patches will reflect those moves in older saves. Mint chunks in the mint container should no longer spawn on top of the container. With buildings, once again, a lot here. This update is so big, honestly, it's absolutely amazing. There's so many new bits. I'm going to be covering it all properly from next week. This one's more of just a patch notes and showing the PTS and just testing it out for myself, really. Structural buildings are now fully allowed to overlap with any static environment object. Blueprint buildings in the air cannot be completed unless a supporting building has been completed. This prevents situations where large structures would collapse because they were technically unsupported. Buildings no longer can be built inside of tables. Buildings can be placed more easily on the pond flagstones. Mushroom garden spawn timer will now start when the building is built instead of when it is placed. Smoke from torches, wall sconces and campfires should now rarely penetrate floors and ceilings. That's cool. Just a little detail like that really does make things that little bit better, which I really like. And the player will no longer play canteen animations when building a water container with a canteen in hand. Clay foundation now has double the health. Pebblet foundation has less health, but still more than clay. And crafting. Most recipes that require spiderweb have been refactored to use the processed spiderweb obtainable via the new spinning wheel instead. And performance increased CPU that's not even a word, is it? Oh well, I'm waffling shit. Been a long day. Improved CPU performance of large bases and structures. And other, which is just little bits. Additional water caustic effects. Bird feathers now float. Weed stems now float. The drop control can now be rebound. And the swim up and swim down control bindings are allowed to overlap with controls that cannot be used while swimming. And there's a few little bug fixes on all platforms. Free buildings attached to player built structures will no longer become out of position. And the game will no longer crash in specific cases when demolishing a plank or log storage building. And game Alchemist Burgle Quest will complete when accepted if the player has already analysed the target item. Yes! Kill-based perks now only track kills on enemies. And items, equipment, resources. There's just a few little bits there, not really too much, but still enough to go into. Berry chunks will no longer inflate themselves when subject to a strong impact whilst lying on the ground. Traps can no longer be triggered for a few seconds after destruction. Traps can no longer be triggered by third-person camera. Tropicop juice droplets should now correctly spawn from the straw of the juice box instead of from the base. And Bombardier Head trophy should now be much easier to place. World. Building ingredients will no longer remaining floating in the air when large structures collapse whilst no player is nearby. Got rid of a small bump in collision while walking up and down player-built stairs, and Bombardier Beetle now plays a sleep animation when sleeping instead of playing the stunned animation. And UI, audio, and there's not really much there. Various camera animation adjustments were made to reduce cameras clipping into objects and bodies. And with audio, buildings no longer create noise events immediately after loading a save game, and chatter audio is attached to the player character and should sound better when moving. And well, that's it. Any issues you find, make sure you report them on the forums. And mate, you gotta report shit, because that's how things get fixed. That's how things get moving along. And these guys are not playing around with updates and fixes. They get things out pretty fast, which is something I really love about a developer that it's got some oomph and some and just gets shit out fast and gets content to people, which is what with the player base. That's what we keep doing. We want to play the game and enjoy it, and new stuff just gets everyone going. So it's nice that they do it nice and quick, and we're not waiting months for certain updates, which is really cool. But for me, that is it for today. Obviously, it's just been a little bit of a reel off on what's coming, and then next week we'll be diving in deep and getting some proper gameplay and having a little bit of a look around, see what we can find. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed.